Okay, now building a Six Sigma team. It involves selecting members with specific roles and skills, such as a regular ad hoc resource member to collaboratively achieve product goals. How many of you have already been a part of Six Sigma project? Type me in the chat box. If you've been a part of any Six Sigma projects, type me in the chat box. Okay, fine. Managing Six Sigma in organizations. There are two levels of management. Okay, enterprise-wide level. All of you type EWL in the chat box. Enterprise-wide level. Okay, that is one level. This is managed by a group of senior executives. Okay, it is guided by master black belt and black belt and sets the tone for Six Sigma. And enterprise, they provide the final approval on projects. They hold the team accountable for metrics, performance, and success. So this is one way of managing the Lean Six Sigma project. And this enterprise-wide level, they are not involved into day-to-day project details. Okay, that is enterprise-wide level. See, you might be in organizations where they have corporate HO, right? Corporate head quality. Okay, how many of you have like that corporate head office, corporate head quality, where you have multi-locational factories and stuff like that? Okay, Ravi Kiran and stuff like that. So for them, when they implement the Six Sigma as organization wide, it is enterprise wide level. Sometimes what happens, a particular plant, okay, sometimes what happens, a particular factory or a particular location might go ahead, then we go into project level, where this involves sponsors, champions, and they focus on specific project details and execution. Okay, so if slide is clear, type SC, super clear in the chat box. I'll quickly move into the next one. All right. Now, so let us look at some rules of high-level leadership. Okay, what are the rules of high level? Create rational, that is, promote Six Sigma as cultural goals. It is not like one-off methodology. It has to be a part of the culture, and they have to set objectives, align project goals with business objectives. And ensure that the teams and organizations meet performance targets and they hold them accountable for that. Okay, and they demand and assess performance measurement. They have to review the results, share wins and losses honestly with the team, communicate, and they reward the success, which is reward and recognition is very important. And they secure funding and resources for project improvements, because any project requires all this. So creating rational, setting objectives, holding accountable, reviewing results, communicating, rewarding success, advocating resources are very important roles of high-level Six Sigma leadership. Okay, I'll be going through it a little faster because these are all simple English. All you need to know is what some of the roles and responsibilities, how the Six Sigma structure, okay, with sponsors, champions, team members, all that is made. Okay, okay, let me go to the next one. How do we tailor the Six Sigma teams? Okay, you have the custom teams. Okay, the team must be tailored to meet the project goals and process. It has to be tailor-made. It can't be a fixed pre-made team. Okay, now there are many roles in this. Okay, there are many roles in this, like black belt leaders, data analysts, project managers, subject matter experts. This is one word you have to remember, we'll use quite often. All of you type SME in the chat box. Subject matter experts. All of you type SME in the chat box. Okay. Now, team members add value when they are familiar with the process or relevant skills. See, that's why you need subject matter experts, right? Consistency is important, not all the team members. Okay, now it is important that we need to hire right people, train. It is very important that you train the existing employees in Six Sigma rather than hiring new experts. Okay, that's very important. And that's why, a lot of Lean Six Sigma trainers are required. Okay, so the essential roles are Six Sigma leader, process owner, process expert, budget and accounting manager. Okay, these are all some essential roles. And this is something you can just take notes. You're not, supposed to, what do you say? There's nothing technical about it. You just have to remember. That's all. Okay, you just have to get a feel of what these roles are. Okay, essential roles and additional roles. Okay, additional roles might be some technical resources might be required for the project, and maybe HR, compliance, legal, and other department might also be required for the project in case of some Six Sigma projects. Okay. Okay, so if the Six Sigma teams are clear, type SST clear in the chat box. Six Sigma team clear. Okay, SST clear. Oh, SSTC is also okay. SSTC. Six Sigma team clear. Okay, fine. All right, thank you. There are three types of team members in Six Sigma projects. Okay, there are three types of team members. Let us see what they are. Regular team members who participate in all activities and meetings. Okay, there is ad hoc team members and there are resource team members. All of you type, okay, regular, ad hoc, and resource. Okay, RAR. Okay, regular, ad hoc, and resource. Let me explain to you each of this now. Okay, let me explain to you each of this. The regular team members. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't open the chat box. Okay, the regular team members participate in all activities. Participate in all activities. Okay. All right. Thank you. And who are the regular team members? Project leaders, process owners, and subject matter experts. Whereas ad hoc team members, they come whenever the expertise is required. Okay. Typically, like some subject matter experts, when we want their opinion in brainstorming or whatever. Okay. Those are all ad hoc team members. And the third type is resource team members. Resource team members is they join meetings or events when needed or expertise or resources. And often ancillary departments like accounting, HR, and other related. Because, see, for example, when you talk about Six Sigma project, particularly when the project chapter is given, you need to have financial benefits written there. So the financial benefit is actually given by the finance manager. Okay. And in some of the project during implementation, you might need a complaints, okay, from HR. Okay, complaints from HR or complaints from the admin department. How many of you can relate to whatever I'm saying? If you're an experienced person, you should be able to relate to all this. Okay. Vested interest areas. Correct. Thank you. Okay. Now I'll give you some tips for selecting the team members. All of you type TIPS in the chat box. We'll see some tips for selecting the team members. Ideally, 5 regular members to avoid communication issues and burnout. Okay, if you have lesser than 5, generally, 5 is an ideal team that I have seen. Okay, regular members should focus on one team. Okay, and you should consider reducing their workload. It should not be like an additional load for them. Okay, that's one thing. Single commitment we call, right? And they should be knowledgeable. They should be team oriented. They should have access to the data. They should be able to understand and comprehend the data. They should commit their time to it, okay, and they should have necessary skills and some other consideration, like political consideration, I call it as. Okay, now if you see knowledgeable, employees familiar with the customer product or process. Team oriented means those who are willing and able to work towards improvements. Okay, employees access data means they should have access to the data and they should have the understanding of the data. Time commitment, at least 5 hours per week they should give. Okay, 5 hours per week is not a big thing. Okay, weekly working hours is generally 48 hours, right? And it's not even 10%, right, of the total time. It's just 10% of the total time. And look at this, sometimes potentially obstructive person, including them, can increase the buy-in. How many of you can relate to this? Because some people think that this won't work, and it is important to include such a person in the team. Then you will have awesome buy-in. Okay, great. Okay, let us go into the depth of the team member roles. All of you type TMR in the chat box. Okay, before I start the team member roles, what are the typical Six Sigma roles that you have heard of? Just put it in the chat box. What are the roles that you have heard of? Six Sigma roles that you have heard of? Okay, right. Good. Okay, thank you very much. Sponsors and champions. Let me quickly go through what are the qualities of sponsors and champions. Okay. So sponsors are generally senior level leaders. Okay. They oversee the project at the highest level, including the black belt reporting. Sponsors are higher than the black belts. Okay. And some of the responsibilities, let me share with you some of the responsibilities. They require updates on the project progress. Okay. And sponsors and champions actually help in getting funds, equipment, and other resources. They provide input on project scope and manages internal politics to support the team. How many of you have seen internal politics during project? Type me in the chat box, or seen, SEEN, in the chat box. Very common, right? Internal politics. Very important to manage that. Collaborates with other managers to implement and sustain improvement. Okay. And roles in project success is final accountability and liaison. Okay. See, these people are responsible. The sponsors are the final accountability lies with them. The buck stops with them, right? Overall project, because they are going to spend a lot of money and resources, time, money, resources, all that on the project. So they are responsible for the project outcomes, and they act as a bridge between the team and the leadership. Okay, these are all the typical roles of sponsors and champions in Six Sigma. Let's go to the second role, which is the business owners. The business owners. Okay. So the role of the business or process owner, responsible for process in the leadership capacity. Okay, let's see the key responsibilities. Receive and implement solutions from Six Sigma team. Understand and support the changes made by the team. Maintain and monitor new controls post implementation. And the expertise they have is this. They have insight into existing process. They have the knowledge of customer and employee needs. They have access to relevant data. These are the expertise that they have. And what are the challenges that they have? How many of you have seen resistance to change during this? All of you type RTC if you have found the resistance to change. And you found that, when new idea is bought, when improvement is, trying to be implemented. So They face this resistance to change or belief in having all the answers, possible fear of being outshone or threatened by team members. How many of you can relate to this? How many of you can relate to this? Can relate? Fantastic. Awesome. Good. Thank you very much. Good. Now, Six Sigma leaders is another role. How many of you have been Six Sigma leaders? Anybody type SSL in the chat box if you have been Six Sigma leaders anytime. Anybody has been Six Sigma leaders? Okay, Ahmad has been Six Sigma leaders. Fantastic. Okay. Charles Clark. Okay, lean leader. Good. Okay, thank you very much. Let me quickly get into this. So, certified black belts typically lead projects and focus on one team or project at a time. And green belts can lead small initiatives with guidance from black belts. Okay, if this is clear, type SC, super clear in the chat box. Nothing so difficult about this. And black belt responsibilities: create project rationale, select team members, lead through DMAC phases, educate and support teams, oversee time management and planning, maintain schedules and timelines, provide expertise in statistical analysis, assist with the project transitions, report to sponsor or champion, and document these outcomes. You can take a picture of this. I'm not going to read all this, but if you have understood based on what is written, black belt responsibilities, if you have understood, type yes, understood in the chat box. That's enough for me. And master black belts coach multiple black belts. They solve complex problems, provide statistical guidance, offer continuing education. See, master black belt actually have high-end statistical knowledge, okay? And they educate the black belts and green belts. And best when they align with familiar processes or department, okay? Master black belts need to align themselves with the process or department like compliance, accounting, customer service, so that they can do their best. Okay. Master black belts offer broader support and education, enhancing Six Sigma methodologies. Okay. So this is also fairly clear. I'll go to the project managers in Six Sigma. Okay. Their role is to support the black belt, not lead the team. Okay. Some project managers' responsibility is maintain documentation and timelines, keep the meetings on track, ensure the follow-up on action items. Okay. So maintain documentation timelines, keep meetings on track, and ensure follow-up on action items. The benefits is allow black belt to focus on analysis and brainstorming instead of maintaining documentation and all that, and reduces distractions related to the project management. Okay. So combining the project managers and the black belt roles enhances project efficiency and effectiveness. Okay. If this is clear, type clear in the chat box. So project managers do these roles. And you'll also find that in different Six Sigma books that is written, it might be slightly varying, but it is just that, it's not written on rock. Okay. Don't worry, not all the roles are applicable in all situations. Okay. It is just some indicative roles. Okay. Whatever suits you, you can use. Timekeeper is very simple role. Keep meetings on track. Reduce scope creep. Okay. And increase productivity. His responsibilities are monitor agenda and time and give gentle reminders. Okay. How many of you can relate to this? All of us need reminders for meetings, reminders for project deadlines. How many of you can relate to this? And to select this timekeeper, you need to find somebody who is organized and level-headed, who would be able to really communicate well. They don't lead the meetings, okay, or note anything. They follow the agenda provided by the black belt project manager, and they are be aware of the possible agenda changes during the meetings. Sometimes 5-minute warning or wrap-up discussions, they They just tell them, oh, it's going to be, and they maintain polite interruptions and ensure respect for timekeeping duties. Okay, this is also fairly simple. Okay, so I'm not going to the depth of this. This is the timekeeper's role, and this is minute taker scribing. Okay, minutes of meeting. They will record discussions, follow-ups, and visual aids from team sessions. They are appointed by team leader and not by black belt. Okay, typing and sharing the minutes of meeting, and they capture the diagrams with smartphones, camera, and all that stuff, and they convert raw diagram into digital format and share with you. And the scribe helps to maintain focus. I mean, if all these roles are there, the Six Sigma project, but some companies cannot afford all these roles, so people play dual responsibilities. Okay, and finally, the team members. So as we said initially, the team members, regular team members, ad hoc team members, resource team members, we also typed RAR in the chat box. Okay. And team members are selected by project leaders, sponsors, champions, and organization leadership. And their roles and responsibilities include participation in brainstorming sessions, discussions, and team activities. They also collect data and do analysis under black belt guidance and often green belt. And they complete tasks as directed. Okay, and they share the results of the progress on assignments, and they also give review and feedback, that is evaluate and suggest improvements on work. Okay, so far, if this was useful, valuable, just type useful, valuable in the chat box. Now this is a quiz time for you. How many of you are ready for the quiz? Type ready in the chat box. Quickly, 5 questions, that's all, only 5 questions. Okay, so the question is, who are typically the senior level leaders overseeing Six Sigma projects? The black belts, process owners, champions and sponsors, and green belts. Let's see the answers in the chat box. All right. The correct answer is champions and sponsors. The correct answer. Whoever wrote the right answer, give themselves a chocolate. Okay, the second question. 4 more questions. Okay. What is the primary responsibility of a process owner in a Six Sigma team? Leading the brainstorming sessions. Okay. Collecting and analyzing data. Maintaining and monitoring controls post-implementation. Providing statistical analysis. What is the correct answer? Maintaining and monitoring controls post implementation. Fantastic. All right, good. Okay. Question. Which role is responsible for leading? We have 3 more questions including this. Which role is responsible for leading Six Sigma projects and usually only works with one team or project at a time? Champion, black belt, green belt, and project manager. Black belt is right answer. Fantastic. I think all of you have focused very well. Awesome. Okay. I think last 2 questions. What is the key function of a timekeeper in Six Sigma teams? Leading meetings and brainstorming sessions. Keeping an eye on the agenda on time. Simplest of questions, right? Providing statistical analysis and acting as an expert. Of course, this is a very simple one. Okay, right. And the last question is, what is the role of a scribe or a minute taker in Six Sigma teams? Leading the team, recording notes, discussions, diagrams during the meetings, managing project timelines, and acting as a liaison between team and leadership. This is also very simple question, right? Of course. Good. So the correct answer is all right.